A lot has been going down this past summer. I'm aware. I don't know if that's actually applying to any of you guys. At least for me it is. Graduated with my AA, or associate's degree if you want to call it that. And then I'm going to a 4-year level. Had to take a couple of trips down to my new college just to get classes sorted out and everything. Luckily everything's going well. I honestly don't know what the hell to expect these next few months. I don't know how busy that's going to be. I don't know how classes are going to work out. This is going to be a completely new experience, at least on that front. Not to mention the Tour de France this year has been quite hectic for at least the final half of it. We had Jonas Vingegaard going down before the final week of stages, basically giving the Tour de France away to Tadej Pogacar. 5 Tour de France victories for him. So now he's only the 5th cyclist in history to win the Tour de France 5 times. On top of that, I got to watch Lewis Hamilton finally win his first race as Ferrari. So finally, the drought has been broken. Congrats to him. I actually haven't been able to watch the Hungarian Grand Prix last weekend. I've been having to run around a bunch of things, having to help family members with some stuff. So as soon as I'm able, I'm going to have to get on Apple TV, watch that race before I say anything about it. But as for the world of horse racing, of course we had an awesome Kentucky Derby this year. New record viewership numbers as well. What's unfortunate is that it doesn't seem to be applying to the rest of horse racing. Of course, we've had a few tracks shut down in recent memory. And not to mention, I wonder how much of that new viewership has to deal with a certain anime. Make of that what you will. I just wish whatever new viewership they claim to have for the Kentucky Derby, I just want that to apply to the rest of horse racing so that way the sport can recover. But we might have a new way that the sport can finally have some sort of recovery. A new studio named Blue Bolt Incorporated, spearheaded by what I can assume to be just one guy out of Japan, has came out and said that they wanted to develop a horse racing game and have it be simulation based. Meaning that for the first time in 15 years, we finally have at least an attempt at a simulation horse racing game. And this game will be called Full Stride, again coming out July 15th, but now it's been almost 2 weeks. But the opinions on the game have definitely been mixed. There have been some praising the effort and not really minding a lot of the issues which have been patched out. I guess a lot of the criticism has to do with the graphics and the fact that a few modes that used to be in older horse racing games, whether it be G1 Jockey, Gallop Racer, or the eventual Champion Jockey game that was made after the Koei Tecmo merger. As for my opinion, I honestly don't know what to say, because we finally got the horse racing game, at least that some say they wanted. But at the same time, there are definitely some areas I think the game has to improve in order for it to be good. But at the same time, it definitely ain't bad. I guess I could say it's at least half decent the way it is right now. Some things I really like about the game are the reaction timer at the start of a race. You can finally see how well your reactions are at the start. I like how the whip mechanics seem to work. There's definitely some strategy you have to put into it. You have a limited number of times you can use the whip on the horse. I know some might not like that, but at least in an increasing number of jurisdictions across the US and other countries for horse racing, there seems to be a limit now on jockeys using the whip for a certain amount of time, so definitely some realism to that, which I do appreciate. I love how the horse reacts to how you position it in the pack. It's no longer about being in the front middle, or the back of the pack, secretariat style. It's also about where the specific position you put yourself in, whether it be around horses, right behind horses, on the outside, on the inside. There's actually a whole lot of strategy to this, and I think Blue Bullet definitely has a really good base for that. Only thing is, the controls, I think, are the main problem right now. Here's the control scheme that is used for Full Stride. As you know, the whip and steering have all been changed. Even the acceleration controls have been changed. It's no longer like Champion Jockey where you just use the D-pad to control how fast your horse goes. You have to use the triangle, and if you want to drive your horse, you have to hold the left stick forward and basically spam acceleration. The real problem I think this is, I don't know if it's specifically coming down to the control scheme or the game just needs some improvement on this. The controls for accelerating and decelerating just feel very awkward and clunky. There's basically no good feel to it, at least for me. Whenever I try to position my horse towards the front or the front middle, I feel like half the time it works okay, the other half of the time the horse doesn't know what the heck it's doing. It doesn't matter whether I try to spam triangle or use rapid acceleration with the left analog stick, or just try to use a few careful taps. It feels like I can never get the right tempo or speed that I want from the horse, no matter how good it is. And I feel like it just makes the game a lot harder than it should be. And don't get me wrong, I think sports games gotta have some level of difficulty to feel rewarding whenever you get a win or anything like that. But we'll talk about the difficulty of the game a little bit later on in this video. It's just that the acceleration and deceleration within the game, whether you just use triangle or you use the left analog stick to drive as well, it just has no good feel. And I feel like you're either still going too slow or you're going to speed up the horse way too much, lose all your stamina, and you have to decelerate again, get back to the pack. But now that you're going too slow and it takes time for the horse to speed up again, it's just a compound effect that keeps going and going. So some fixes to the controls or just how the acceleration and deceleration works, I think will be a good start for the game to improve. Graphics wise, I honestly don't mind the graphics at all. A lot of people for some reason were complaining about the graphics, but let me just present to you real quick Tour de France. I've been talking about it earlier in this video. Again, congrats to Tadej Pogacar for becoming a 5-time Tour de France champion. But when I first started playing the Tour de France games, it was the year 2020, and guess what? The graphics looked like it was straight out of PS3, and the character models of the cyclists definitely didn't look good. But when it comes to the actual racing and the strategy involved, whether it's leading a breakaway or staying within the peloton to manage your effort, or when you have to attack, or what stages you want to push, what mountains you want to try and win for those King of the Mountain points, the game actually did a great freaking job. Basically, a lot of things when it comes to the real world strategy of cycling and how you have to position yourself well, you have to manage your battles accordingly, when to back off, when to fight, what breakaways you want to chase after. Basically everything was modeled really well. And then after Tour de France 2020, the next Tour de France game I bought was 2023. And by that point, all 5 of the monument races were added in, which was really cool. The only thing I guess I could really improve on with the game, if I were a developer, was try to shake up the career modes a bit more. I felt like the career modes were feeling a bit stale. But luckily with Tour de France 2023, I was learning a lot more about the strategy and how I'm supposed to actually play the game in order to get efficient results. And luckily I was having a lot more fun playing Pro Team and Pro Leader, all that. And even better, I don't know if it was Tour de France 2024 or 25, Cyanide finally overhauled the graphics to make the game look a bit more better. So now it no longer looks like a PS3 game, it actually looks a bit more like an early PS4 game. So again, graphics weren't the best, but graphics is not what makes the game. It's the actual depth, strategy, and realism of it. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are starting to forget when it comes to indie projects like Full Stride. Keep in mind, 15 years without a horse racing game. A decade and a half since Champion Jockey, one of my favorite sports games, period. And for some reason, people are immediately assuming, oh, the mechanics aren't the best, the graphics aren't the best, this game sucks. No, it doesn't. This game is a passionate indie project spearheaded by passionate horse racing fans from Japan, and whether it's really considered a solo project or there's a few other helpers behind the scenes trying to help improve the game, I feel like the game as it is still a good base for what's to come in the future, and not to mention all the other improvements that seem to be rumored, such as newer tracks, more regions to race at. And I feel like as long as we can keep adding in a few basic features, such as maybe a quick race mode or a training academy mode, just like Champion Jockey, I think the game could be really good. And keep in mind, for many games like Full Stride, when it's an indie project, it's a lot of trial and error that goes into games like this. And if you remember, NASCAR finally had a game come out in 2025, and although it's definitely not the best game, there were a few things that I really wish were changed up or improved upon by iRacing and Monster Games. It was still a good game. I liked how the handling was a lot more realistic, and how short tracks and road courses, the AI there are actually challenging, and it feels like it's an actual race rather than just blowing the field by 5 seconds a lap. And as long as iRacing and Monster Games continue to work on that base, make some changes to career mode, revamp some other aspects of the games, NASCAR could very well be one of the best racing games, period, across all the racing franchises today. Not to mention, iRacing has came out and said that all tracks within the top 3 national series of NASCAR will actually be in the game, unlike NASCAR 25. There's no longer going to be a few missing tracks. Maybe adding a few more for ARCA. That was definitely my main problem with the ARCA series in NASCAR 25. The fact that a few tracks were missing. I didn't mind that part. Honestly, you could have thrown in some fantasy tracks to replace them and I would have been okay. Because I get it, a lot of tracks out there have different licensing requirements and negotiations. It can be a hassle. And not to mention, Monster Games definitely isn't new with fantasy tracks. Their past few grassroots racing games like SRX the Game, Tony Stewart's All-American Racing, Tony Stewart's Sprint Car Racing, pretty much all those games had a ton of fantasy tracks. As for some other things I wish Full Stride would have, not only the quick race and training academy features, but also allow us to adjust the difficulty of the games. For Champion Jockey, the only difficulties were easy, medium, and hard. Maybe have a bit more variance to it, like whether it's very easy or ultimate difficulty. Just something along those lines to where we have a few more options to work with, so that way career mode isn't too hard or too easy. Another thing is, when it comes to racing within the pack itself, I feel like a lot of the times my horse is blocked in for no reason. Like I try to close in on a horse and go for a gap, but for some reason my horse just stops and the horse cuts me off. Not because the horse in front of me is actually like trying to block me, it's because there's a gap there, but for some reason the game, because the horse is just a bit close, it now rejects me from going for that spot. Not to mention, when I try to race within the pack, if I'm going a bit too fast and I close in on the horse in front of me, the game for some reason still registers me going faster than I actually am, and the stamina decreases way too fast, meaning I'm basically going to have no drive for the straight. So maybe that can also be worked on. I do really like some of the mechanics about the sprinting, such as building up sprint by staying behind another horse and waiting for your moment. That way you can have even more sprint down the straight. And even motivation of the horse improving by staying within the right part of the pack. I thought that was a really cool mechanic as well. It actually encourages you to stay within the right part, whether it's back, middle, rear of the field, the front. Blue Bullet actually hit it right on the mark with that. So as long as a few issues are fixed out, again, I think Full Stride might be one of the best sports games of 2026. Of course, Formula One definitely doesn't have a new game coming out this year. They opted instead for a season expansion of F1 25. And then of course FIFA, 2K, the big developers, EA, 2K, we know those games are pretty much dumpster fires. microtransactions and online modes are being prioritized over the actual gameplay themselves. They only care about money from the microtransactions. And the fact that people are still buying games like NBA 2K and FIFA to this day, it's still beyond me just how dumb some gamers can be. You're literally buying the same game every year, there's nothing new about it, and the only time there's something changing about the game, it's always a new promo to sucker hundreds of dollars from players in online modes, all for it to reset the next year with the new game. Pretty much the only sports game that I seem to be enjoying, other than racing games like NASCAR and Formula 1, is Tour de France, which technically is racing, but when it comes to pro cycling like this, it's a lot more to it than just racing to win a stage. Of course, again, there's a lot of strategies, whether you're a specialist in the mountains or you're a sprinter that's going for the green jersey. I think Tour de France has honestly been the best sports game for many years now, and until we actually get some change within 2K or rival developers finally show them up, I think it's going to stay that way. So my final word to all of this, Full Stride definitely isn't the best game, but there's a lot of cool aspects to it that I think can be worked on. And as long as Blue Bullet continues to put in the effort, I think Full Stride could turn into a great game, whether it's through constant updates like we're doing right now, or maybe some point down the line we'll get a sequel, Full Stride 2, who the heck knows. So for those at Blue Bullet, I wish you nothing but the best. I think your game has a really good base, just keep working on it, and I think a lot more people will be willing to buy in. As for anyone who's still hesitant about buying the game, let me just say this. Read reviews, do your own research about the game, look into the mechanics yourself, and make an informed decision. Don't be an NBA 2K player. So that'll be it for my opinions on Full Stride. Thank you all for sticking around. I hope for those of you that did buy Full Stride, I hope you're all having a fun time with it. Hopefully improvements come soon with the game, but only time will tell. If you want to see more horse racing content in the future, please like and subscribe. It'll mean a lot to the channel. See you all another time.